Since 1938, Matson celebrating 25 years of commitment to Guam, Micronesia, and the CNMI. Cars Plus, home of Guam's first and only lifetime powertrain warranty. Visit carsplusguam.com for details. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Now on primetime, a rainbow flag displayed at the Guam Congress building in recognition of Pride Month has been burned. Plus, the mother of murder victim Michael Castro issues a statement, and the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center continues to answer calls for help.
Hafa good evening, everyone. Guahusi Isaiah again, and thanks for tuning in. Members and supporters of the LGBTQ community are gathered in front of the legislature at this hour in a show of solidarity. The rally was organized after reports that a rainbow flag that was on display in front of the Congress building in celebration of Pride Month was burned down. Here's more.
Vice Speaker Tina Barnes reported the flag burning to police, saying she was appalled at the apparent strike against the LGBTQ community.
The burning of the pride flags is unacceptable. This is not what we stand for as island people. I've instructed our Sergeant of Arms to call the police department. I understand that the chief is sending a representative down. I want the LGBTQ community to know that this cannot be happening.
Barnes says they will be turning over any video footage they have to police, and GPD spokesman Paul Tapao says they received the complaint, and if charged, hate crimes are punishable under Guam law. Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio, the nation's first openly gay lieutenant governor, issued a statement saying the incident is a reminder that there are still elements of violence and hatred in our community that target LGBTQ people. And Pride Month organizer Lasya Kasil calls the incident disturbing.
We've worked very, very hard to create a safe space for our LGBTQ community here on Guam. And this is a violent act of hate.
She says the incident is just a reminder of how much more work they need to do to achieve greater equality.
Even though sometimes it feels like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, we've come so far to let something like this violent act of hate by these cowards to bring us down.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
She's been vocal throughout the entire investigation, but the news of her son, Michael Castro, no longer missing but murdered, has mother Melanie Guerrero in a state of shock. Guerrero provided KUAM with a written statement.
The fact that my son Michael's body is still out there not found, there is no real sense of relief for me, stated mother of murder victim Michael Castro. Melanie Guerrero last saw Castro in October of last year. She filed the initial missing person complaint with the Guam Police Department.
If something is wrong with Michael or he's no longer alive, I cannot believe that any of his friends or people that he was affiliated with would actually, knowing who Michael is and the kind of heart he has, that they would actually hurt him. So I have to believe that he is still alive. I have to do that until I actually see it for myself, see him that something is wrong. I'm going to believe that Michael is still alive, and I have to have hope that he still is. And I'm not going to give up until we find him.
That's an interview from roughly 8 months ago when Guerrero first spoke with KUAM on her son's case. Since then, she has pushed for answers, fought for justice, and was hopeful that her son would be found. Sadly, that was not the case, as the news broke last week that Castro was shot to death and his body was allegedly dumped into the ocean by a person of interest, 23-year-old Nicholas Moore. Moore was allegedly on the run to avoid prosecution as he was captured in Florida by local and federal authorities. According to Guerrero, her son and Moore were friends for the past 2 years. She says, quote, his mother can still see her son alive and tell him I love you. I will never get to hear my son Michael's voice again or hear the words, Ma, I love you. Moore is being extradited back to Guam to answer to local and federal charges for the death of Castro and an additional ongoing shooting investigation. Although Guerrero says nothing that happens now is going to bring back the early morning before her son was so brutally killed, shot multiple times, blood splattered inside with bullet holes in his car, and dumped at the sea, as court documents stated. Castro was a son, a brother, a father, and a friend. Guerrero states, His daughter doesn't get to hear the words, "Daddy loves you, my little princess." Michael will never be here to see her turn 9. Michael won't be there when she celebrates the milestones in her life: graduation, marriage, her first baby. Guerrero says they will continue to celebrate Castro's life at every birthday and holiday. He will always be treasured in their hearts and home. Quote, "We will not allow this tragedy to rob us of Michael's memory and who he meant to us," says Guerrero. For anyone experiencing the similar loss, Guerrero shares this message. It doesn't get easier. Believe that this is God's battle and not ours, because it is. God will show you where your loved ones are and that heaven does exist. Guerrero says she will never feel a sense of justice until Michael's remains are found and her son has a proper burial he deserves. Castro's mother concluded her statement with, quote, "You are so deeply loved, Michael."
Murder defendant Matthew Manibusan's attorney William Poe motioned to withdraw from the case, and the court appointed Jeffrey Moots to represent him. Manibusan is accused for the April fatal shooting of Joshua Menu. Menu's lifeless body was found along Swamp Road in Dededo. As stated in court, Poe filed the motion based on communication issues with Manibusan. The government did not object, and the court granted the motion. Manibusan also informed the court that his family is working to hire a private attorney. Judge Vernon Perez set a return for June 17th. Manibusan's trial has been calendared for July 20th. It was day 2 of trial for George Chambers Jr. He is accused of committing pandemic unemployment assistance or PUA fraud during the COVID-19 pandemic. He allegedly falsified records on his submission claims and was indicted on a slew of charges to include forgery, tampering with public records, and unsworn falsification of record. Assistant Attorney General Dennis Lee, who is prosecuting the case, called forward witness Evangeline Cepeda, who was contacted by the Guam Department of Labor when the agency found deficiencies within his claim. Cepeda works for Century Realty 21 and was hired as a project manager for the residence, where Chambers was at tenant in 2019.
If you're acknowledging here today that you did work with Greg, with GC Clean, on a few projects at Escalita Street, and why did you tell the Department of Labor on October 13, 2020, that you did not work with Mr. Chambers, GC Clean?
All he did was in the house. He didn't do any other project. So I didn't look at it like it was a project that he was doing. He was doing something in that unit that he was residing in. So I didn't look at it like a project, sir. I repeated myself twice, sir. I said all he did was he did work at the house he stayed in. He's never done any other work for me or any other projects.
Chamber claims he owns and operates GC Cleaning, a janitorial business. His trial is ongoing in Judge Vernon Perez's courtroom. Chief Judge Francis Sidinko Gatewood dismisses business owner Thomas Pinehoff's complaint with prejudice against Governor Lou Leon Guerrero and Public Health Director Art Stenogosine. Pinehoff was suing GovGuam for mandating bars, including his establishments being closed during the public health emergency under executive orders. He was seeking injunctive and declaratory relief and a return of value taken. According to court documents, he experienced a loss of at least $200,000. As stated in the order, the defendant's motion for dismissal is granted because Pinehoff already amended his complaint once in response to a previous motion to dismiss that failed to identify additional factual allegations. Ultimately, the court found that any further amendments would be futile. A new audit by the OPA of federal emergency fund spending by GovGuam lists some $1.3 million in procurement as question costs. But there's a big caveat. Public Auditor BJ Cruz says auditors may have legitimate questions about the expenditures, but they were deemed acceptable because an Attorney General's opinion said they were okay.
They said they tested a small sampling of it, and they found that these things did not comply with the law, but they didn't write it up as question cost, because they also wrote that these procurements were the result of an Attorney General's opinion that says that they can do these emergency procurements.
Cruz says normally the federal government requires external auditors to look at more than a dozen different things that need to be tested when issuing a single state audit, but they didn't require it of the pandemic assistance spending.
It's flabbergasting because they're being told don't bother, because I guess the federal government doesn't really want to know that there were problems, because they know that they were the problem of the problem. The fact that they constantly change their advisories may have confused jurisdictions, and they don't want to find them in non-compliance and need to claw back money.
Cruz concedes that the report is frustrating. He says while the independent auditors from Deloitte and Touche point out what they believe are the more proper ways for procurement, they also understand that it was done that way because of an AG's opinion and federal advisories. If the U.S. plans to use Guam as a temporary transfer site for Afghan refugees, Governor Leon Guerrero wants to be part of any task force that's formed to coordinate with the mass relocation. She wrote to President Biden saying she wants to make sure decisions reflect the best interests of our people and that due to the gravity and urgency of this matter, I would like to soon speak with you soon. Biden has called for the withdrawal of all U.S. troops from Afghanistan by September. There is concern that thousands of Afghans who assisted the American military may face backlash if the Taliban regains control in certain areas. The State Department is working to fast-track special visas for the refugees, and Guam may be used as a place to hold and process them before final entry to the mainland U.S. Leon Guerrero reassured the president that Guam is ready to assist in the humanitarian effort, as it has done in previous refugee evacuations. Stick around for more news here on Primetime. You're watching KUAM.
Half a day. As we look ahead to a brighter tomorrow, Matson's commitment to Guam and Micronesia remains stronger than ever. While the world around us is ever-changing, what remains unchanged is our commitment to you, our customers, and the island communities we serve. Shipping is what we do best, and serving our community is at the heart of everything we do. But we don't do it alone. This is why we support organizations that make caring for the people and the environment a top priority. We know that many count on Matson's lifeline services in the Pacific, and that's why we continue to work hard to ensure that our shipments remain on time all the time. Matson recently added another Aloha-class vessel to our schedule. We now have two of Matson's largest and fastest ships serving Guam from the U.S. West Coast and Hawaii. With our new state-of-the-art vessels, we stand ready to support the region's economic recovery. Thank you for the privilege of serving you for the last 25 years, and you can count on Matson to be here for the next 25 years and beyond.
It's gonna look a little different in here. Your favorite spot might not be exactly where it used to be. Being next in line might feel a little less like next in line. And our smiles might come with a little extra shine. But McDonald's is ready to take your order as safely as we can.
While we've all been through a lot over the years, typhoons, earthquakes, and now COVID-19, we've been able to get through these together.
For more than 80 years, Travelers Insurance has been protecting your homes, your businesses,
And the health of your family.
We are here today and we'll be here tomorrow.
There are better days ahead. Tomorrow's a new day filled with hope and choices.
The possibilities of what we can achieve together are limitless.
Let's continue to work together to ensure a brighter tomorrow for all of us.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Welcome back. The government's COVID response may not be as busy as it was last year, but at the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center, they're still flooded with calls for people in need of help. Sabrina Salas-Metsanani reports.
You can see that the community is in crisis.
That's the diagnosis from Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center Director Teresa Areola, as she and her staff have been seeing and hearing from patients on the daily.
Averaging about 600 calls a month. At the high, it was 800, so it has not dipped down at all.
According to Areola, the types of calls they're fielding are from individuals who have suicide ideations or from residents experiencing anxiety and depression. She says there's two ways to look at it.
That's always a good thing, because that means, number one, people are getting over whatever stigma they might have had to reach out and get the help they need. But it's also a major indicator that our community is ill.
Matter of fact, out of the 600 monthly calls into the crisis prevention hotline, a third require intensive services.
Some of those suicide ideations go right into asking them to please stop by. and getting the help they need. Because it really is only a psychiatrist that can determine whether they are truly in crisis and whether they can, they fit the criteria of being admitted into our crisis stabilization unit that we operate at the department. And so, you know, there's a big correlation when you've been running 90 to 100% beds in the stabilization unit, and the number of calls in the hotline is as high as it is.
Coping with COVID, however, isn't GIPWIC's only priority, but also fighting a problem that has been plaguing the island for years.
The COVID pandemic is not the pandemic. It's a pandemic that we were faced with and probably hit the hardest in front of our face that we had to deal with. But we have been dealing with a decades-long pandemic of drugs on the island.
Areola and her team will be appearing before the Guam legislature on Tuesday for their budget oversight hearing. Not only will they provide an autopsy on the agency's COVID response, but the future programs and funds needed for a litany of projects on the horizon, such as the construction of a new detox unit and a new drug recovery center in Talafofo. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Sabrina Salas, Matanani.
A bill to put more teeth into the law to require property owners to repair or remove dilapidated structures has been introduced by Senator Jim Moylan. He says the legislation follows a recent site visit he made to this Tumon eyesore, the long vacant site of the proposed Royal Palm Hotel that's been untended for years.
It's a health hazard. You know, trash is everywhere, and there's vagrancies going on in there, which is just really, really unsafe.
Moylan says after consulting with Public Works, he drafted a bill that sets a specific timeline for a property owner to correct deficiencies identified by DPW. If they still don't comply, they'll be subject to recurring fines.
Give us your plan of action, follow your plan of action, but address the government's concern within 30 days. If you don't, $10,000 thereafter.
The government can also place a line on the property for 20% of the assessed value. New leadership was elected for the Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission during Thursday's monthly meeting. For the next 2 years, the chairperson will be Vince Perez, chief of the Guam Customs and Quarantine Agency, and serving as vice chairperson will be Guam Airport Aircraft Rescue and Firefighting Unit Chief Raymond Matanonia. The two fill seats held previously by Chief Stephen Ignacio of the Guam Police Department and Department of Corrections Deputy Director Bob Camacho. Chief Perez shares what he hopes to focus on during this term.
You read in the news how pay issues, retention issues are being brought about, and we have officers across the law enforcement spectrum who have left us, and they often lead to bigger and better things, and we lose them as a resource. I'm hoping to see that some of the standards or the initiatives that I set out to do can get implemented in order for us to stabilize the exodus of officers who are leaving our government.
Also discussed during the meeting was the need for an executive director. Members went over eligibility requirements, and once finalized, the job announcement will be made. More than 100 service members gathered earlier today to celebrate the 246th birthday of the Army. Here's more. The U.S. Army birthday is commemorated to remember its creation on June 14th in 1775. This year's theme is honoring the courage of the American soldier. While the Guam Army National Guard held a cake-cutting ceremony and a prayer breakfast at the Barrigada Readiness Complex Center on Monday, Major General Esther Agaki gave opening remarks. She said, "Whenever the nation has ever needed and called us in the past 246 years, the men and women of the U.S. Army have always answered the call."
And today, I am prouder than ever to celebrate the continued courage, honor, and loyalty of our soldiers, our civilians, and our families.
She further stated in her remarks that no matter challenges this nation faces, Be it domestic, a foreign threat, natural or man-made disaster, or public health crisis, our Army will always be there when needed to support.
Army soldiers serve our nation with honor and dignity, remaining on the front lines, capable and prepared to protect our people, our homeland, and our way of life. The responsibility to defend our nation requires universal commitment to the Army values. This includes treating everyone with respect, working and fighting as one team, and always, always, always doing what is right.
Joining Major General Aggie in cutting the cake with a ceremonial saber were State Command Sergeant Major Celso Leonin, Colonial Michael Cruz, State Sergeant of the Guam Army National Guard, and Private First Class Victor Kapati. Reporting for Guam's News Network, Guahusi Isaiah Ugin. Coming up, Dave Delgado has a recap of local sports action, and still to come, we feature another island business who is GVB Guam Safe certified and WTTC Safe Travel Stamp approved. You're watching KUAM.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.
I'm gonna take these chains that have been holding me. Today's the day I'm breaking free. I'm gonna walk away, live to fight another day. Step aside, world, there ain't no stopping me. I'm gonna stand, I'm gonna win. I won't give up and I won't give in. The higher I can climb, the more this life is mine. Step aside, world, there ain't no stopping me. You'll see me blaze a trail to the Milky Way. I told you, world, there ain't no stopping me. Step aside, world, there ain't no stopping me.
With triple the beef, triple the cheese, and triple the bacon, I call this burger the perfect triple threat. But you can call it the Triple Bacon Cheesy Jack. My Triple Bacon Cheesy Jack combo, only at Jack in the Box.
We're one of 8 U.S. regional fishery councils established under the Magnuson-Stevens Act. The council uses the best available science and local knowledge to develop fishery management plans for over 1.7 million square miles of our productive Pacific waters.
We worked with local scientists and managers to develop an app that captures detailed fishery data.
Accurate catch data from the fishing community are needed to sustain fish populations.
Take a proactive role in fishery management.
The power of data is in our hands.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. We get this show started tonight with some FIBA Asia Cup basketball highlights from Amman, Jordan, between Team Guam and Hong Kong. Check it out. The Bank of Guam men's national team is one win away from advancing to the next FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers bubble to be held in Indonesia. Team Guam defeated Hong Kong 103-83 last night in Amman, Jordan. Jericho Cruz put up 24 points and 7 assists. Joe Bloss finished the game with 12 points. Ty Wesley led all scorers in the win with a game-high 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists, almost recording a triple-double. Wesley getting to the rack for the dunk, Nice defensive play here by Cruz. Darren Hechanova gets out running. Big man Curtis Washington is trailing down the lane. Assist from Cruz for the two-handed finish. Washington scored 16 points and pulled down 6 rebounds. Jericho Cruz with the and one play, drawing contact and getting to the basket for the lay-in. Ben Borja and Chris Connor both chipped in with 9 apiece. Darren Hechanova and Takumi Simon added another 4 each in the W.
First of all, I wanted to thank FIBA Asia and the country of Jordan and Jordan Basketball Federation for hosting us. We're very happy to be here and very thankful for all the hospitality that they've shown us. And I just have to say that we've come a long way, and we're very excited to be here. So we came to play, and although we have a lot to work on, we have a few things that we have to improve upon. Not playing as many games over the last year or so. We're excited that we were able to play this game and look forward to the next one.
In baseball news, the Crown's Paradise Performance Dodgers improved to 3-0 in the GML Baseball League. The Dodgers beat the MTM Falcons 11-8 at the Paseo Stadium. Glenn Palomo pitched the complete game, recording 10 strikeouts on the mound. Sean Muñoz Jr. went 2 for 3 at the plate with 2 runs, 3 RBIs, and a home run. Muñoz homered on his first trip to the plate. Mike Concepcion ripped a homer in the bottom of the 6th. Concepcion was 3 for 4 with 3 runs and 3 RBIs. Randy Alcantara finished the game 3 for 5 with 2 runs, 3 RBIs, and a solo shot in the bottom of the 8th inning. Randy making his way to second here with the stand-up double. Falcons player Jacob St-Nicholas ended the game 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs. Teammate Austin Manibusan was 2 for 4 at the plate with an RBI. The Crab Daddy Spartans are scheduled to take on the Pirates tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. at the Paseo Stadium. Last but not least, in bowling news, Greg Borja used a late surge in the final match of the King of the Lanes monthly finals as he crafted together a 5-bagger from the 6th frame to edge 4th seed Aaron Elliott for the title. Claricel Lanuza used her handicap advantage to claim her 2nd title of the year as she overcame a surging Cameron Santos in the Prince of the Lanes finals match. The next King and Prince of the Lanes will be held on Sunday, July 11th at 1:30 in the afternoon at the Central Lanes Bowling Center. Well, that's going to do it for sports. We're back right after this.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
It only gets better with more. Customize and save with the fastest internet speeds in the Marianas by adding mobile, phone, and TV to your bundle with Business Bundles Plus. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Bun, mayo, chicken pickle, bun.
Bun, pickle,
Blasphemy!
No bun. The Naked Chicken Chalupa, only at Taco Bell.
KUAM News, in partnership with the Guam Visitors Bureau, brings you the Guam Safe and WTTC Safe Travel Certified Program Showcase. Look out for this powerful symbol for visitors, island residents, and industry workers alike, as it represents establishments with a consistent global commitment to safety practices. Stamped with approval by the Guam Visitors Bureau and the World Travel Tourism Council. Every Monday on KUAM News will feature a different local business who's taken the Safe Guam and Safe Travels pledge to maintain health and safety standards to get Guam back on track. Log on to visitguam.com to see how your business can receive the designation, what businesses in our community are Guam Safe certified, and have the WTTC Safe Travel certified.
Welcome back. We continue with a series that airs every Monday, highlighting some of the island's businesses who are Guam Safe certified by the Guam Visitors Bureau and have the World Travel and Tourism Council Safe Travel stamp.
Guam Safe and WTTC Safe Travel Certified Program Showcase is brought to you in partnership with the Guam Visitors Bureau.
Half a day, my name is Madel Casico and I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing at Hyatt Regency Guam. Why did Hyatt feel it was important to get Guam Safe Certified and WTTC Safe Travel stamp? It is very important for us as a company because the safety and well-being of our colleagues and guests are very important to us. Prior to certification, we have to undergo certain steps and standards, ensuring that everything is safe and clean. And all those protocols we have in place are not just ticking in the boxes, but also being part of our day-to-day operation. Having received the stamp and the certification means so much to us. It means that we went through the whole process of ensuring the safety and cleanliness in our areas so that everybody that will come to our hotel will be comfortable, and that all of us here are confident and proud to say that our place and our hotel is safe for everybody to stay at. In the beginning of the pandemic, Hyatt as a global company has rolled out the global care and cleanliness commitment where all cleaning and hygiene protocols were identified in each touch points of the hotel. And soon after the rollout, we are the first hotel chain to partner with GBAC Star Facility, a global biorisk advisory council focusing on training, giving us guidance and accreditation, certification, and crisis management on biorisk program. With that in place, we're confident that our facilities are clean, disinfected all the time, and we are preventing any infectious disease to happen in our facility. With that in place, coupled with a Guam Safe Travel stamp, we're very confident and proud to say that everyone that comes to the hotel will be safe and that we have all the protocols in place so that we continue to keep everybody safe even after the pandemic. With the anticipation of tourism reopening, how ready is Hyatt? We're ready when you're ready, so come and visit us now.
Guam Safe and WTTC Safe Travel Certified Program Showcase is brought to you in partnership with the Guam Visitors Bureau.
For a complete list of Guam Safe Certified and WTTC Safe Travel Certified businesses, or if you would like to know more on how to receive such certification, log on to visitguam.com now. And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
It's back to work Monday, you guys, but you know what? That means you can celebrate the day you were born with your coworkers. Yes, so happy birthday to Krizia. Happy birthday to you, and we hope you enjoy your special day. Also, belated birthday wishes going out to Brandon Joshua. Happy 30th birthday to my firstborn, first baby, first son, now all grown up, Brandon Joshua. Love you always from mommy and baby brother Bailey, all the way in the United States of America, and from the JBL babies. And Brian, happy birthday, Brian boy. We hope you have a great and blessed one. Please stay safe and enjoy your day from Meow Paul John and the Cruise Babies.
Remember, you can be a part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online at KUAM.com. Please make sure to include with your name, your photo, and your birthday. That's going to do it for us here at KUAM News. Thanks for watching. Good night.